Welcome back to YCS Utrecht 2020. Today we're here with Simon He, a UK competitor, currently doing the World's Race. How you doing, man? How's that going for you?
Thank you.
Oh god, we absolutely messed that up. Let's not even edit that out, that'll look funny. But anyways, yes, Simon He, you're currently doing the World's Race. How's that going for you, mate?
Yeah, it's going really well. I mean, the traveling part is quite rough because I'm from UK and all the big regionals are in Germany, so I have to go back and forth. Just come back from France for a double big regional this weekend. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, but like it's really helping me improve because I'm playing so much, and it's going well. I'm currently first, actually.
Really?
Yes, but like everyone else is close behind, like the top 5.
It is really tight, I've seen from recent years. Everybody's just been going for it. More and more people have been going for it. I remember the year where I did it, I found I was traveling a lot as well, and I was competing with JY as well, and we were all neck and neck. But in the past couple of years, loads of people have just been like crawling up behind you. How have you been dealing with the pressure?
The pressure? No, I don't worry about the rest of them. I literally don't worry about the rest. I just play as many as I possibly can that my schedule allows me to, and hope I get there. Because like it doesn't really matter what their points are at the beginning. Because everyone else, they tend to write everyone else's points down. I don't do that. I just focus on myself. Like, they don't affect you. Their points don't really affect you. As long as you keep going, you should really get there.
Yeah, it's a really good mentality to have because you're right, you can't really control how they do. You can only control how well you do. And as long as you get that magic 16 mark, which I believe it's top 16 now, right?
Yeah, it's top 16, which is easier to get there, but more difficult when you get there. The playoffs is more difficult now, yeah.
I think just being able to just actually get there is the most important part, and then you can worry about that once you get there, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course. Like for you, I think it was like more difficult to get there, and you were traveling throughout America, everything as well. That's even more difficult. Yeah, the most important thing is getting there and then just hope for the best on that day.
So one of your past credentials is, I think your most notable one is you got second at YCS Long Beach, which is the biggest YCS to date, about 4,000 people, wasn't it? So you're at the event now, YCS Utrecht. Is one of your big goals, other than going to Worlds, to win an event as well?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, yes, I need to win. I need to win a YCS. So I'm going to every possible YCS coming up that my schedule allows me to. That's why I'm also traveling to so many regionals, because I miss out literally a month of grinding. Because I'm going to Rio, going to Charlotte, going to Hartford, going to Pasadena. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I really hope so this year.
So in terms of priorities then, so you said that you really want to win, but you also really want to go to Worlds. So if there was like a huge regional that was coming up and you had to choose between that and a YCS, what do you think you would choose?
I think it completely depends on the YCS location as well. And this shouldn't be a factor, but you have to have fun when you go into these events, and somewhere like Rio is really nice to go to compared to potentially some of the other locations. And also depends on how well I'm doing at the race at the moment. So if I'm like first of top 4, then I can miss out on regionals. Can you imagine if you missed out on a YCS, like a good one, like Rio, and then you do bad at the regionals? So that would be like really big.
I think that's the risk you've got to take though, because at the end of the day, like it is a competition, and it's not all going to be song and dance. You are going to have some devastating moments as well. And you've just got to, I think you said it right, evaluate yourself, see how you're doing at the event as well, then be thinking, you know what, I can have a break, I can go for this YCS, but at the same time, you know, you're going to hunt down that win that you so desperately need, as you say, as well.
Yeah, for sure. Was there a question there?
I think it was just to see how you want to evaluate the rest of your season, I guess. So you said that you're currently first, and you've come into this event. So with this in mind, are you just going to try and... There's different ways to approach it, I guess, when I was doing the World's Race. So I think I mostly just wanted to top, whereas you seem like you really, really want to win. But in terms of the bigger picture of the World's Race, how are you approaching this event in itself then?
Well, for one, I'm skipping YCS Vegas for this. I actually booked Vegas, which is on the same day. Right. So in that respect, I do prioritize the World's points over like YCS wing, because it's really difficult to describe because you've committed that much time to the World's Race. If you try to go for a win when you don't get points, and it could tarnish your chance of getting something, it feels like a year wasted. Yeah. So you do prioritize that first, because the win thing, it can happen later on.
You're right, absolutely. If you want to search for your win, it doesn't have to be necessarily this year. You can do that next year, and at the end of the day, one of the biggest achievements you can get in this game is Worlds, and you can't have both. I mean, Raph has somehow managed both. But she's crazy. He also has the same mentality as you, where like he was going to all the American events as well, like seeing it as a nice break as well. So I think that's a really good idea to have. So in terms of like preparation for this event, then, so what sort of things have you done to like prep for this event, and how you handling this event in terms of how you handled it for like Milan in terms of preparations and stuff?
So for this event, I knew that this format has lots of different decks, unlike past formats where there was just usually a clear tier 1 or maybe 2 or 3. Right now, there's a lot of rogue decks can beat you at any time. So I just tried to play one deck really, really well and know all the matchups. Because it wasn't, surprisingly, even though I'm playing so much, there's actually not that much time to test, because a lot of the time goes towards traveling to the event itself. And it's very difficult to test, like, let's say there's like 5 or so decks right now. It's very difficult to test each one of them against each of the other 4 and do it well, and do well with the side deck and everything as well. That's a lot of time. So I just tested, sort of learned how each of those decks work, learned the weaknesses, and then chose one and then vigorously tested against each of the others.
I think during my Worlds grind as well, I just played the same deck, because I feel like even though it might not necessarily been the best deck at some point, because I think Goki came out, I still grafted and played Pendulum Magician, because I think it's best to relieve some of the pressure and all the testing that you got to do, and just stick to one deck and just learn that matchups, like you say, against everything else. And I think you sort of did the same thing at the start of the race, because you were playing like Sky Striker a lot.
Yeah, but Sky Striker was always a tier 1 for a while anyway. And it's kind of different to right now, because like I don't really see any massive like this format. There's a slight problem with Mystic Mine and things like that. I don't actually have that much positive things to say about this format, to be honest. Yeah, there's a lot of contradictions. So you have one thing that's good against something else, but absolutely gets destroyed by this other thing that a lot of people are going to be using. But if you play that, has a lot of issues as well. That gets destroyed by this. So imagine like a rock, paper, scissors sort of triangle situation, but with 5 different decks. So it's very difficult to pick the right one.
I think that's what counts for some of the skill, though. Like you're right, like rock, paper, scissors formats are one of the hardest formats. But then you've got to self-evaluate which one do you think is better out of rock, paper, and scissors, and then you just pick the one that's the most consistent. And you also have to sort of have a meta call as to whether scissors, rock, or paper is going to be the most represented as well. Is that something that you've considered going to this event as well?
No. So with the limited amount of time I had, I picked a choice that was best for me. So I think one of the biggest mistakes you can make is changing a deck last minute. Unless it's like a tier 0 deck, unless it's absolutely the best deck. If it's just a slightly better tier 1 deck, I wouldn't recommend ever changing last minute, because you don't know you might know the basic combos, you don't know the grind game well, you don't know the niche interactions between the other decks. So I would literally just stick to something that you know best, unless that is not like a really, really bad option. If it's like a tier 1.5 sort of option, like close to tier 1, I would pick that. If you're, yeah.
So, so any final words in terms of like any advice to the people out there who are considering doing the Worlds race next year, maybe?
I think you have to prepare for it very, very early on. You have to, if you have school, if you have work, like I have to work around my work schedule. I'm lucky because I get to travel and work. I can work on my phone anytime. But you have to plan out the events. You have to be mentally prepared to be really tired, like all the time, because you're traveling all the time. But at the same time, you should have fun. Try and travel with friends. That makes it a lot easier. But yeah.
What a great response. Yeah, as long as you're in the right mindset, you think you can do anything, can you? Right, let's not mess up this handshake this time. Kind of did a little bit there, but it's okay. Right, good luck, Simon. I wish you the best of luck for the event. That's me. Cheers, guys. See you next time.